Yes, a very good evening to you watching UBC TV. Once again, welcome to our weekly talk show, Pick a Point, where we discuss issues, socio-economic and development in nature. Today we shall go political, which you cannot say is not social or economic at all, because it mainly determines the two. So welcome, my name is Michael Jordan Lukuma as usual. Tonight we will discuss something political because it determines a lot of other things, and just keep watching, just settle and get a cup of tea or something like that. We have something hot for you this evening. I'm joined by the Secretary General of the ruling party in Uganda. Her name is the Honorable Justine Kasule Lumumba, and we're going to talk about the issues at the institution she heads, the Uganda at large, and the political situation in the country, Africa, and the world at large. Honorable, you're most welcome.
Thank you.
How is your evening?
I'm okay.
We're so happy to have you here.
And I too.
How is plot 10?
Plot 10 is okay.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, what do you mean as okay?
Plot 10 is okay because we have been demanding arrears of allowances, of salaries from the party, but at least on Tuesday, we were paid 7 months. So as we were giving the notice of termination of employment, but again, there is also the smile of getting some small package.
Okay.
To an individual who has had 9 months without pay.
Who are these people categorically? Who are the people that were restructured that you realized you had to do away with as an administration?
We have 419.
Are they cleaners, secretaries, security guards?
All of that. But we begin with the district administrative secretaries and district administrative assistants. These, in every district, we have one district administrative secretary and one district administrative assistant.
Okay.
In every district in this country we have in the NRM office. And then those, the contracts ended in 2009, some 2012.
But you have been continuously
We
paying
continued to work with them, one, according to the employment laws in this country, or labor laws. Somebody who works for you or with you for 4 months, even without an appointment letter, the moment it makes 4 months, it becomes permanent employment. So this person has rights as a worker. So
and entitled to benefits.
yeah, and is entitled to benefits. So if somebody has worked with you for less than 10 years, you inform this person 2 months before termination.
Okay.
If this person has worked with you more than 10 years, you inform this person 3 months in advance. So on Tuesday, we're informing our staff, those at the district and at the headquarters, that want to begin the restructuring exercise. But the exercise started long ago. It started actually in 2014, December, when the NRM took a decision in the national conference to amend the NRM constitution to narrow down the secretariat of NRM not to be a party organ, but to be an administrative unit. When it's a party organ, the Secretary General must be elected and the deputy, the treasurer must be elected and the deputy. So when they took a decision to have the full-time employees, or as regional, as deputy, as treasurer, as deputy, that was now the beginning of the restructuring.
Okay.
So when that was done.
But you kept these people around and at work?
Yes, I will explain.
Okay.
So so that is when it started. We are there as full-time. But remember, we were given the responsibility on the 8th of, January 2015. At that time, we were left with 1 year to have general elections. So we had to generate the NRM register, and which we generated, went into elections of the structures of the party, from village to the national level, went into primaries, getting flag bearers of the party from all the posts that had been declared, including LC ones. After that, we went into writing the manifesto, and then went into the national conference. After the national conference, went for presidential nomination, then the nominations of all the other candidates, parliamentary and local councils, and we went into general elections. Elections were held in February, and after elections, you remember very well, we were taken to court. So when we were taken to court, you may see the lawyers at the front bench, but it is us to give them the information they want.
Yes.
We want this information from the village. You instruct the staff, go and get this information. You want this information in northern, one has to go to that particular place and get the information. So all of that was work done by the secretariat. And after that, we went into constituting government. Our party leadership, our flag bearer, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, it was us to give him backup as party, as the staff to the national chairman of NRM.
Okay.
So after that, remember, we've had petitions. We have lost, we have won. So after we have had by-elections, and we have had to go and hold those by-elections. These are the very staff who would go to do the work.
To do all of that.
Yes, and they've done very well.
Because I was going to ask
we have been winning.
I was going to ask you, how relevant have these people been, and what kind of vacuum are you going to have without them, or it is not there?
So as the Secretary General, I don't go to do this work myself. These are the people I work with.
So what is going to happen without them?
What has been happening, you know, when we were given the responsibility, we found the staff. And we needed people to do party work. And these were not even enough to do the party work. We'd even call on more people of NRM to come and work with us. Or even join the leaders of a particular area where there is a need and work with those leaders in that area to make sure NRM wins. So now as we talk, by-elections have reduced. But we found there were issues. You find there is a need to realign our staff. There is a need to formalize. There is a need also to scale down so that we have staff members who we are able to pay on time, improve on their conditions of work, but also we also have to digitalize. This we are still analog as a secretariat.
In your
and the challenge, the political challenges we have now, we have to up our game to take on these challenges. So as as you see, the staff at the secretariat, some are very good, some are very qualified, but there are those who cannot manage to take on this challenge, even though some at the district. There are those who we may recommend to be deployed somewhere else based on what they are doing. There are those who retire, but they are going to be a priority. We are going to advertise, and they will give them a priority, because the people they've been working with are the very people who constitute their appointment, the interviewing panels. When it comes to the district staff, it is the district executive that interviews them.
Okay.
And the names are forwarded to the Secretary General. The Secretary General presents them to SEC, and SEC approves. That's when the Secretary General appoints them. But when it comes to these at the Secretariat, the headquarters, it is the Director Mass Mobilization who chairs the Appointments Committee, and the members are the Director Legal Services and the Director Finance and Administration. After they've interviewed people, that's when the Secretary General appoints them. So that is the procedure. Okay. So we are doing this because we want to take on the challenge before us.
So I'm getting 2 points. One, the restructuring was not only at plot 10, but it is countrywide.
Yes, please. That's why we talk of 419. Okay. Yeah.
Because
those on the payroll. Because when I talk of 419, we who have running contracts. We are 9.
And the others that have worked since 2009?
And with no contracts.
Without contracts.
And there are those whose contracts ended in 2012.
So how have you been maintaining these people? Because I'm somebody who wakes up to come for work every day, and I'm imagining a whole 9 months without a message from the bank?
It is unfortunate. It's an unfortunate situation, because when you are living in Kampala, you don't have a garden. The garden is the market. And that's why we are saying, instead of keeping people in this kind of condition, plus other issues, let's have staff who we can pay, and pay in time.
Another question.
Even if it's allowances, even if it is salary, we should be able to pay. We also want to make the Secretariat a reputable institution to work with. We want to take on professionals to help us as a party to challenge even the technical people in government when it comes to issues to do with the service delivery.
Now, you are a big party.
Yes, sir.
That covers this whole country.
Yes, please.
Definitely one would think that you really need a big number of people to support your operations. One would wonder whether a big party can fail, how a big party can fail to pay all the people that need to push its operations. Two, that brings me to a question. What is the resource envelope of NRM? What has it been with all these people that time came and you could not manage all of them and you feel you have to get rid of some of them? And how are you now going to handle?
We are a big party, but as we talk now, we get funding from government under the Political Parties Act. Political parties that have membership in Parliament are funded. We get 2 billion every quarter from government. Every 3 months we get 2 billion. Then we get money from the members of Parliament who are on the NRM ticket, contribute money monthly to the party treasury. Then we have supporters and well-wishers out of their own will who also contribute to the party. And we have, there are some who contribute like every quarter or every year to the party. But now as we talk, the money that we are getting is all ending up in paying allowances to our volunteers, because these workers are majorly volunteers. So we can no longer continue to have money paid as allowances to these volunteers when we can't fund activities at the grassroots level.
These are the volunteers that have been helping you run to the north, to the east,
yes,
where?
Yes.
So but without them,
we are going to recruit some who we will be able to pay, who will be able to facilitate. Because some of them would give even transport to go and do work in a taxi. So we want to improve such working conditions. But this you are talking of, that won't they create a vacuum? We are immediately going to get those we must have. But I want you to remember that most people in NRM do voluntary work. But as we talk, NRM is a party that has leadership. Every village in the NRM constitution is called a branch. Every branch has 30 members as leaders.
These are people who have a responsibility to do some work,
to mobilize for the
whether
party.
with pay or not.
Actually, there is no pay. We don't pay them. So these 30 are the leaders in every village, times the 66,000 villages in the country. It's 1.8 million leaders. This is at village level. So when we come now at parish level, there are still 30 times the 7,000 parishes we have. We come to the sub-counties, there are 30 times the 1,600 sub-counties we have. Then we come to the district. Then we come to the national level. So if there is a need for a major activity in the whole country, even these 400 workers we have couldn't go in every part of the country, up to the
these
village
leaders
level.
Could play their role?
Yes, they would play their role, and they've been working. So what we need is to improve on our communication between us and them, because we also have problems of information flow, and also to make sure we improve on our effectiveness, especially in supervising the implementation of the party manifesto by the people in the government.
In coming up with this decision and you're moving towards implementing it, have you thought about its political outcome? These are 400 people or even more that you have given all the skills of mobilization and all that. They are getting out. If you're laying off all of them, let's say, won't other political parties run away with them with the skills that they have acquired from the NRM? And
when they are working at the secretariat, they still have the right to choose where to go. We don't have we've not chained them that you must belong to NRM. You can't stop the movement of labor, if I may use that. You can't stop it. But as we talk now,
so you don't mind losing them to any party?
No political party will not mind when it loses a person.
Because I look at them as not only employees, but people that are affiliated to a party.
Yes.
In losing these jobs, won't they go where they are, to a place where they will see a greener pasture?
We are going to advertise, and they are a first priority, especially if one has been working, and they will be given first priority, because the very people who are going to interview are the very people they've been working with. Because when you look at the district executive interviewing the administrative secretaries, these are the very people they found in office as the technical officers and the very people they've been working with. So it doesn't mean that they will all go. No. Some are going to be reabsorbed. But through a process, and everything will be formalized and regularized. There is nobody who will be employed now without an appointment later.
Are there chances of having some other plans for the people that you may not take in the formal process that is coming?
Yes, because our national chairman is the president of this country, and the president has powers to appoint some people under his signature, presidential appointees, and some of our people qualify and some are good.
Okay.
Yes, but I don't want to amplify that more, because other parties may not feel so good, but he has the powers actually to choose either from NRM or from outside NRM. That's why when it came to constituting government, he even chose from other parties as a president now, this time not as NRM chairperson, as a president, he even got people from other parties to come and work with him.
Okay. So those that may not get an opportunity to keep around, they don't have to lose hope totally.
They don't have to lose hope, because it is even up to, some of them have even started saying, I'm seeing there is this empty chair and I qualify. How do I get there? Okay. Some have already started doing that.
Okay. At the introduction of this show, I asked you how plot 10 is, and you said we are fine. You only mentioned the issue of the restructuring and that, but you said you people are very okay. I've not heard you attacking anyone as a matter of a fact, but when I listened to my former lecturer, Dr. Tanga Odoi, the two of you don't seem to be good friends, yet you're senior officers heading an institution. What exactly is the issue between the two of you?
In every institution, even here UBC, there is what they call the chain of command. I'm the Secretary General of NRM. I'm the custodian of the Constitution of NRM.
Yes.
I'm the custodian of the Code of Conduct of NRM. I'm the face of NRM. I only talk if I'm talking for NRM. I can no longer talk and say, I Lumumba, no. Because I'm carrying the trademark of NRM. That's why you see I'm dressed in white and black, but yellow must be on, because this is my trademark. So, as the custodian, as somebody who talks for the party, there is nothing that I do that is not for the interest of the party.
What are you trying to mean,
so,
Honorable?
As the Secretary General of NRM and as a national leader, I would really plead with you. There are bedroom issues, there are issues for the compound. The one who appoints the Secretary General as Kasule Lumumba is the national chairman. The one who appoints Dr. Tango Doi as the chairman of the Electoral Commission is the national chairman. Let's leave it to him. He will bring order if there is disorder. But I have not seen any disorder because every program is going on well.
You see, Honorable, you pleaded with me. Okay. But now you see there are issues that are public. If this was a bedroom issue, definitely we wouldn't see it on social media, on TV, in the papers and everywhere. Just throw some light. Let everyone get to understand exactly.
No.
Is there any bad blood? Is there anything? Because some of the statements even sound personal and people would really love to know. We have a chance, millions of Ugandans are now watching you. Let the world know what exactly is going on. Because like you say, all programs are moving on well. And we wonder, with the voices we hear, how do these people end up winning by elections? Yet, definitely the whole country thinks the two of you have a problem. Are we right to think that way?
Somebody in the person of Kasule Lumumba, somebody in the person of Tango Doi, none of the two is bigger than the party. None of the two is bigger than the party. So I would suggest whatever is on social media, whatever is on the chairman NRM, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, will iron out these matters because it is his responsibility as the national chairman.
Okay, as we leave it.
The secretariat was reduced from one organ to an administrative unit to give backup to the national chairman of NRM. So and my appointment letter has his signature. His appointment, the appointment letter of Dr. Tango Doi, for which I have a copy, it has his signature. Okay. I would really think that it is
the chairman will handle the matters.
What I can only tell people of NRM and Ugandans, because NRM is the ruling party, is unfortunate, and I apologize for it.
What are you apologizing for?
You said it is all over social media, and you said it is causing whatever it is causing.
Yes.
So, and it's my responsibility as the head.
So you agree with me something is wrong somewhere as we go off it?
Something is wrong somewhere, but there is nothing personal with me as Lumumba, because this is a public office. NRM is not a private company to me as Lumumba, but even if people who are working as in a private company, they still have also rights. So I don't work that I work with people who I like. No, that's not how public offices work.
How do public offices work?
You work with the people you have been given to work with.
Okay. Pick a Point Talk Show, UBC TV. We're taking a very short break. In just a few seconds, we'll return. Honorable Kasule here is telling me, yes, there are matters, but there are bedroom matters and all that. Assuming you're enjoying, let's take a short break. On return, we'll discuss more issues. By-elections, they are winning many this time. There is a hard one in Jinja. She's going to tell us how strategic she's going to Jinja and all that. Thank you for watching. Yes, welcome back from the break. You're watching Pick a Point Talk Show here on UBC TV. I'm with the Honorable Justine Kasule Lumumba, the Secretary General of the National Resistance Movement, the mass party, the ruling party. Those statements are so many, Honorable.
You can also add on that the party which has not yet thought of yet to leave power.
Okay. Okay, we shall come to that. Now, the LC1 elections are on the way.
Yes.
Court gave the Electoral Commission the mandate to go on and prepare these elections, and let us now have LC chairmen and their committees again. And how ready is the NRM as far as these elections are concerned? These are not the usual ones. We're going to line behind the chairman.
You know, this is the biggest election we are going to hold in the last 15 years. Because on every village, they must elect an LC1 chairman.
Yes.
And then elect the other members of the committee. So 9 people per village. And then we also have to elections for the women councils. The people at the village.
Yeah.
So it's on NRM already has the flag bearers per village for the women councils and for the LC1 elections for the chairpersons. So we are the only party that already has flag bearers and already fully endorsed as flag bearers.
Okay.
Yes.
There was information all over the country in our circles that the reason these elections were postponed, your official, your member, Mr. Tweheyo, went to court and got an application. He filed an application and the elections were postponed because politically the NRM has checked the grounds and you were not to succeed in these elections. How true is that?
No. Mr. Tweheyo, yes, is a member of the Central Executive Committee, the chairperson of the Workers' League. But remember, he's also in UNATU. And
he's formerly the Secretary General.
He's not formally, he still is.
Really? Okay.
Yes. So he brought out arguments because some of the workers work far from their workplaces. Those were his arguments. And then you remember also somebody in Jinja, a student, who said wanted to contest for as LC1 chairperson of his village, also went and what?
Filed an application.
Filed an application in court. Okay, all of that was resolved, especially for the students. They said they cannot page elections to either school term or holiday. So Mr. Tweheyo, yes, is a member of NRM, but he went to court because of his constituents of the workers, both in NRM, but also under the teachers organization. And any Ugandan is free to go to court. Any Ugandan or a non-Ugandan human being is free to go to court.
Okay.
So there was nothing to do with NRM. Yes, I know Mr. Tweheyo, but I even don't know the student. As a Secretary General, I don't know the student.
So as the NRM, you had
so
no
as
hand.
NRM, we had no hand in this, and we were ready for elections. And we had even had, like for women councils,
Your candidates were ready?
We were very ready, and even 30% were going to go through unopposed. How could we have left that chance? Countrywide, some were going to go through unopposed. We missed that.
Okay.
I'm mainly praying that God either maintains that or adds on more.
Now,
you know, it's only NRM which gets people unopposed.
As a politician,
Yes.
with your experience, how do you look at the election where we are going to line up behind candidates?
You
9
know,
members of a committee.
We have democracy that was brought in this country is becoming too expensive. Too expensive in that you find every 5 years we go for elections. But you find that people begin campaigning 3 years to the elections. Politics all the time. And we lose out sometimes focus on the service delivery, which is most important.
I understand.
Yes.
So you suggest, you think this is the right way to go?
So when we would do, if we could reduce on politicking and limit, like people would go for elections like 6 months to begin politicking, like 6 months to elections, that would help.
So you must be in support of the 7 years that Parliament passed recently.
But you know, it came from Parliament, and the majority of the members in Parliament are NRM. So NRM had a hand in it, and when it was brought in, even the private members bill that was there for discussion originated from NRM.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, you have won almost all the by-elections, am I right?
Yes, please.
There is one in Jinja,
Yes.
which has always given NRM some headache. This MP has been brought out of parliament. This is the second time?
Yes.
By court.
Yes.
And the previous time he was brought out, and the opponent took it. This time, how ready are you? What preparations have you made? What kind of mobilization are you going to do that this we don't see the replica of 2011?
Last time in 2012, people came from all over the country, from Kampala, from all over the country, to go and campaign in Jinja East in 2012, and I was there.
For the FDC.
But this time, for the NRM.
Okay.
This time, that was one. Then two, there was a lot of violence. The security people didn't help much.
In 2010?
Yes, when they would be told that, they are beating people in Chibugambata, they would come and pass Masese on the main road, and they don't go into Chibugambata. Chibugambata is a slum on the shores of Lake Victoria. When they would say, there was a violence that they beat people in their houses, women got scared.
Who was
and
beating?
Didn't go to vote. There are people who brought guns and they were beating people, and security didn't help. And then when it came to voting, women were scared to go and vote. Women fear violence. Women fear violence. I assume you are aware of that. We are not like you men.
It depends. In this country you have generals, women generals.
No, they may be generals, but they remain women to give guidance,
We have
but
senior
not to
police
go and
officers,
open
ladies.
fists to the different people. And then there was also, so this time as a party, we had a conference in that constituency, and chaired by the national chairman of NRM, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. They were very clear. They said, don't bring us your people from Kampala, don't bring us your people from wherever you want to get them from. We want to manage this vote ourselves. And that is the strategy we have been using in these by-elections.
Okay.
Secretariat, we don't send everybody. We send about 4 people to go and work with the leaders
just giving
in
a
that
backup.
constituency, to give backup to the leaders in that constituency and the members in that constituency of NRM to work together. It's exactly what we are doing.
The big numbers
That's why
that
you
used to
see
go would confuse.
we have a by-election in Jinja, but I'm here. So I'm not there 24/7. I go, if I'm not there, my colleague Honorable Todwong is there. If he's not there, my colleague Honorable Mona is there. If he's not there, Dr. Galiwango is there. So that we give guidance and work with our people who know the place much better.
So the
than
grounds
we do.
on which you have been losing this constituency is not because you have a weak candidate or something like that?
It's not because we have a weak candidate or we don't have NRM members. The majority of the people in Jinja East are NRM.
Really?
Yes. The majority of the people in Jinja East are NRM.
So how have you tested the waters this time round, 2018?
They told us what to do to win a vote, and that's what we are doing. But in politics, you don't open all your secrets to the public because your opponent will even get them.
Okay.
Yes.
So whatever you're telling me is just 2%. Okay. So what has been the strategy for winning? What do you look at? I've watched a story of some NRM members. Okay, you don't want to listen to this, but at least I'm not mentioning names of NRM members that are not happy with you. Maybe this, maybe that, maybe that. Yet on the other hand, somebody will look at you as a successful lady with all these by-elections compared to the previous trend. What do you think about this? Are people not appreciative? What is the problem?
You know, in the current situation in this country, we have social media, we have free access to media. People have, and there is also freedom ushered in by NRM under the leadership of President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. People are complaining about everybody. People are complaining about everybody. Even you out there, there must be people who are saying, why can't she ask her this? Why can't he ask her this? People complain and demean the head of state. People complain and demean everybody. So I don't think I'm above their gauge for them to say what they want to say. But if you look at it, what would one want from a Secretary General? To win elections. What would one want from a Secretary General, as we talk now, to give guidance and suggestions to the leaders of the party to make sure the implementation of the manifesto goes on well. But we are reorganizing ourselves to make sure we supervise the implementation of the manifesto. We work with the people in government to make sure we improve our performance, especially when it comes to manifesto implementation. So for people to complain about me, I can't stop them. You know, it's like I've been dancing, mobilizing for a vote, and it has earned us. It is part of what earns us victory. Then somebody says, dancing Chisoga dance, demeaning Basoga with their dance. So I'm sorry to go into that, but that shows you that while you think you are doing very hard working very hard to win, there is somebody who thinks what you are demeans your strategies, and yet your strategies deliver.
Okay.
So it is their own it's their own freedom.
But do you listen to these complaints and get to assess them?
I listen to them.
On Facebook, somebody sent me a comment because I put them together and got some of the questions that we're discussing here. Somebody asked me, make sure you ask her why she's not accessible.
You know, there is what should I say, a head syndrome in this country. People think when they go to a ministry, they should not see the commissioner in charge, they should not see the director, they should not see the person in charge or that.
The minister must be there.
It wants to go straight to the minister. But there are people who do the work. That is one. So even in NRM, people would prefer to see President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the national chairman of NRM. They don't think that the secretariat could have a solution, or any other SEC member could be of use or important to whatever issues before that person. So when people come at the secretariat and they find Honorable Todwong, they still ask him, we want to see the Secretary General. But Honorable Todwong would be in that chair as the Secretary General. If Lumumba is not there, he's the Secretary General. And we manage our business at the Secretariat through meetings. We sit Tuesday for top management, whatever program, whatever we are taking on, we sit and agree and even share responsibilities.
Okay.
But then somebody would prefer to talk to Lumumba, and yet Honorable Todwong is at the Secretariat as the Secretary General. If Honorable Todwong is not there, Honorable Mona is there as the Secretary General. And if it requires consultation, sometimes they may consult amongst each other, or they may even call me, or it may even require calling the national chairman for consultation. So we have that, because there are days I can't be at the Secretariat because I have to go and do work. Where I'm required to do, yes, I have other roles. Okay. Let me give an example. On Monday, I'm in the cabinet. So you can't find me at plot 10. Now I have a by-election. When it's my turn to be in Jinja, I'll be in Jinja. Honorable Todwong was there last week. This week was supposed to be me. But we had to do this exercise together with my colleagues. Honorable Todwong was around, Honorable Mona is around. We had to do it together, and the directors. So next week, one of us has to go to Jinja, and some of us have to, so, but when somebody comes and doesn't find you, we'll say, you don't get the secretary. Yeah.
Okay, we are winding up.
But we are going to improve our communication.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I was also going to tell you that that should not justify you being not accessible. But away from that, how do you look at the politics in Africa? Political parties are recalling their leaders. Yes, the communication says I have a minute to go. Do we have an NRM that has the muscle to recall, let it be an MP?
You know,
briefly as we wind up.
As we talk now,
ZANU-PF,
well, as we talk,
ANC.
You remember our last parliament when we had members of parliament who, I was the chief whip. I petitioned the Secretary General, then Honorable Mama Mbavas, and they were subjected to the disciplinary committee, and then SEC took a decision to dismiss them from the party, and they went to court. Do you remember?
Yes.
That case? So that one has not yet been rectified in the laws of this country. But
so it is court that stopped you?
No, they had been dismissed by the party called NRM.
Okay.
They went to court.
Not
that the
to
party
lose their seats in parliament.
Because the party did not have that power. And it has not been rectified up to today. There has not been an amendment to that effect.
So the parties in Uganda are blocked by the current laws we have.
Yes. We need to improve our laws to give the parties more powers to take charge of their members in leadership, and then when you talk about what happened in other parties, I think you may be talking about ANC, what happened in
ZANU-PF in
ZANU, what happened in Ethiopia. You know, the system is different. In NRM, you get a flag bearer through a process where is elected finally by the national conference. When it comes to when we are going for elections, presidential elections or elections, we have the face of the individual who is a flag bearer plus the party, and then we also have individuals. So it is the voters who decide who to become a president. But those you are talking about, they vote parties. The moment they voted the party, then it's the party to page the face on the person. When it goes to parliament, it is parliament that
the MPs
chooses,
have the total power.
Yes. Not they don't go back to the ordinary voter in the country to decide. So the systems are different. What is happening there cannot happen here.
Thank you so much, Honorable. Just in a closing remark as we wind up.
I want to thank the people who are viewing us, the people who have listened to us. I want to thank the management of UBC. I want to thank you. But I also want to thank my staff, Mulindwa Rogers, who made it possible for me to be here, because he paved the way for me to get here. And I also want to request the people of Jinja that please, you had given us an opportunity and voted NRM, still give us this opportunity. You know, there is a Chisoga proverb that when you lose a kid, if a man loses a kid, mourns near his wife. We are mourning with you, the people of Jinja, as you give us another leader, NRM.
Thank you so much, Honorable Justine Kasule Lumumba.
Thank you,
Let me
Michael.
hope the Chisoga proverb will not cause you problems like the dance as well. That is all we had for you tonight. Pick a point. Michael Jordan Lukoma is my name. Patricia Lukoma is already late for news. I will not add on whatever the Honorable said. Let us give her room to give you the news. Good night.
Patricia Lukoma. That's your way.